Yo, what's up guys? Old School Dan here, and in this video we're going to talk about why you shouldn't do deadlifts. I got this question today, I think it was today. I put out an ebook 2 days ago, I believe, and one of the programs, Reg Park's program, has deadlift. Some guy asked me, do you do deadlifts all 3 days? And I said, well, have you seen any of my videos? Like, I don't do deadlifts. Like, but he didn't know that. So I'm making this video so you guys can, so he can know, and then also for anyone who doesn't know that I don't do deadlifts, and there's various reasons why I don't do deadlifts. So I'm gonna give you some good alternatives to doing the deadlift, because you have to remember, bodybuilding is an isolationist sport. The deadlift is a compound exercise that hits multiple muscles at the same time, but you can also seriously injure yourself. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna get to the video right now. So cue the intro. So, did you know Frank Zane didn't do deadlifts? Well, you know what? He did, but if you did do them, rarely when he did, they were above the knee. So basically rack pulls. And in Vince Gironda's all the courses I've seen of Vince Gironda's, he's never included deadlifts. But why? It's just not on his radar. Like, he doesn't think it's a good exercise to. He's more like Steve Reeves and Frank Zane. Isolation is everything. They're solely interested in the idea that isolation is just like the best thing in bodybuilding. It's true. Bodybuilding is an isolationist sport. That's exactly why we want to isolate the muscle. That way we can further produce it. So Vince Gironda doesn't say deadlifts aren't good, but it's just like, it's never in any of his courses. Like, I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't seen the deadlift once in any of his courses. So yeah, it's probably because he doesn't recommend it. But also, you may be familiar. Now, also, Steve Reeves didn't do deadlifts either. You're probably thinking, oh, well, what about the Reeves deadlift? Honestly, look, that was an exercise he did just to prove a point, because he was at I believe it was Ed Yark's gym, and somebody whispered, like, is Steve Reeves strong? And then Steve Reeves overheard that, and he's like, follow me. And he goes over to the platform, loads up the barbell with like 4 plates, or I don't know how many plates it was. I think it was like 4 plates, maybe 3 plates, I think. But pinches the plates with his, I think it was his fingers like this, pinches it, lifts it up, and does a deadlift with like 400 pounds. I think it was like 300, 400 pounds. And then he stops, lets it back down, and he says, I can be as strong as I want to be. That's just one time he did that. It was just to prove a point. It's not really much of an exercise he really did on, like, often, you know? So we're talking about 3 legendary bodybuilders that did not do deadlifts. Frank Zane, if you did them, above the knee rack pull, not really much of a deadlift. Vince Gironda, the trainer of the stars, they paid him good money. I'm talking about moving. Hollywood paid this guy good money to train their stars and to get them into shape. There's a reason why he wouldn't have them do deadlifts. That's 2. 3, Steve Reeves didn't do deadlifts because smart man, bodybuilding is an isolation sport. He's interested in solely isolating the muscle. Also, now you're probably wondering, why shouldn't I do deadlifts? First of all, you can get injured just like every other exercise, but it's like, why risk an injury when you can further isolate the muscle better and just like isolate that muscle than, you know, risking it over some exercise? You know what I mean? And also, in a lot of my other videos, I've talked about why you shouldn't do them. First of all, they make you waist blocking. That's exactly why Frank Zane didn't do them. If he did them above the knees. Vince Gironda didn't recommend them because obviously makes the waist and the hips grow. Steve Reeves never did them. Obviously, once again, makes the hips grow. Steve Reeves back then, he was more into shaping the body because he saw a lot of people, the exercises they were doing like all the basic exercises, like the dumbbell curl, the bent over row, like, he saw them as like they were just too thick and too blocking, no shape. He wanted to go against that. So he went against that and started to shape the muscle. He started using exercises like the incline curl, good mornings, and behind the neck pull down, just to really shape the muscle in a certain way. The X physique is what I would call it, an aesthetic physique. And also, did you know Frank Zane didn't do heavy squats either? Of course, because he knew that heavy squats would make his waist thick, grow the hips, just like Vince Gironda didn't like the squat either, because it made the hips and the butt grow. You know what I'm talking? This is all connecting to me. I hope it's connecting to you. You're starting to understand why I avoid movements like the squat or like the deadlift. If I use them, I use them very sparingly. I never do the deadlift anyways though. Oh, what alternatives can you use to the deadlift? Well, here's one way. Here's the Steve Reeves way. When Steve Reeves used to train at Ed Yorick is Steve Reeves' mentor. Helped him put on like 30 pounds in like, I forgot how long, in like a month or something like that. But anyways, he told him that his lower back was lagging. So Steve Reeves started to do good mornings. You can also do that. You can substitute those deadlifts for some good mornings. Or there's two other ways you can do this. You can use hyperextensions. Those are pretty good. Those further isolate the back. You can do with a plate and just go up and down. Or you can do stiff-legged deadlifts. If you want to be more safe, I just stick to hyperextensions, but stiff-legged deadlifts work just as good too. And remember, my channel is not a power building channel. I'm not interested in getting someone strong. Well, we are interested in getting stronger, but like, we're interested in shaping the muscle more. That's exactly why I don't do big ass movements like the deadlift or the squat, because I'm interested in shaping the muscle like Steve Reeves. That's exactly why he cut out exercises like the deadlift, the squat, the bench press, that one too. So that's 3 exercises he would cut out, because those are like compound exercises. They don't really isolate the muscle. Steve Reeves was solely interested in isolating the muscle. Like the other video I made about barbell curls versus dumbbell curls, Steve Reeves said, why would you pick, if I had a chance to choose between standing dumbbell presses and seated, I would go seated every time. Why? Because it further isolates the muscle. So I hope this video clears up any confusion of why I don't do deadlifts. Like this video right now. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching. This is Osco Dan checking out. Peace.